Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life.
Yeah. Well, I see that we're recording now.
See that we gave you a natural cold open.
Wow, I see that.
Fatherhood.
So, do you know what doesn't keep me cold at night, fellas? You know what doesn't keep me cold at night is the
damn
heat.
fine coffee. Oh,
the heat from my scent of my scent from hell candle.
Not lit up.
Yes. See, and those sponsors, we will be expecting our full 100% $2 check. So there we go. But everybody, I'm glad to be back. We're playing some Call of Cthulhu tonight here on Black Lodge Trivia Night.
Absolutely.
You know what's too bad is, well, two cool things about that. They're not our sponsor. We're not affiliated anyway, other than it smells like good stuff. We talked about that.
Yes.
But the owner writes horror novels.
Does he really?
She does.
I'm sorry.
She wrote something that actually, it was like this weird coincidence where I was like, whoa, this candle maker writes horror. And, last time or 2 episodes ago, we talked a little bit about horror stuff. And one of them was like a book I had marked as wanting to read. And I didn't even piece the two together from what she wrote. And I was going to see which one it was. Because I think it's kind of like I don't know how all the books are, but now, of course, I can't find it. But yeah, it's Christy DeMeester. And she runs a candle shop called Scent from Hell, which unfortunately has been on a break for a while, but hopefully they'll come back with some new scents. Anyways, that's it. They're not our sponsor, but their candles rock, so check them out.
And that's cool that also wrote a horror novel.
Yeah, multiple. I was trying to find the one that nice. I had recommended to me or marked as to read, but I don't see it. So
yeah, she might not be our sponsor, but Justice T is also not our sponsor.
No. The list of not our sponsor is long and prestigious.
It's a list
that you can enjoy. We got a long list to get through.
Yeah. Congratulations. And I hope you guys don't get boiled alive at the lobster pot tonight.
Still traumatic.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Yeah.
You know what makes me crinkle is Hugo Grey tea. All right.
Space chilies. Don't mind if I do.
Space chilies. They have blue cheese.
So you guys doing okay?
Yeah, doing great. Glad to be back playing role-playing games.
Yeah, I feel like we've been a lot of talk recently, not a lot of play. So I'm glad we're finally bucking up and getting it done.
It's time to nut up or shut up, or as we like to say, time to visit the lobster pot or rot. I don't know. But we're hitting the lobster pot tonight, boys.
Very
lobster
nice.
pot or bust in the lobster pot. Your choice.
Yep. See, there's line and then
right over the edge.
So, hey, Art, do you have trivia for us tonight?
No, before we do, let's spend a minute. But yes, absolutely I do. We're going to seep in this just for a minute. There's no getting out of it. No, I've definitely got some trivia. And if you are ready, I can give that to you.
Always ready.
Here we go. I wrote it down because in the first episode, I half forgot the question, then totally forgot the answer. So now I got a little. Here we go. In the original series, all right, what class ship was the USS Enterprise?
Nice.
Are you're
just going straight for the pivot without even announcing.
And ladies and gentlemen, that Miranda is called an inside joke. All right. Here's the. Or do you want to answer that one?
It's a Constitution class.
It's a Constitution class. That's right.
Damn.
There's going to be some Star Trek in our future, and that's where that came from. So
good.
Quite a bit of Star Trek.
Lots of Star
Trek. If we're lucky, yeah.
That's the beauty of solo RPGs, but that's another time.
A lot of fracking Star Trek. Okay, here's the actual question. This one might be a little easy, so I've got a backup. Here we go. You ready? Audrey Horne was supposed to get a spin-off movie that never happened. But Lynch didn't abandon the idea. What film did that spin-off actually become?
Mulholland Drive? And when in doubt, Mulholland Drive.
Okay, so that's your final answer. And Patrick, what about you?
Constitution class.
And the answer is Excelsior. The Excelsior class. No, it was Mulholland Drive.
Oh.
Nice.
It's like Excelsior. I haven't heard of that.
No.
He was getting ready to write it down.
Yeah, no, it was Mulholland Drive. Yeah. That's why I didn't know if it was too easy. So I had a backup that's actually potentially quite hard if you want a second question.
Of course.
Yeah, give it to me.
All right, here we go. And I think you're going to like this. Twin Peaks and Gossip Girl have something very in common.
Oh, shit. Okay.
A family connection.
Whoa. Hey, Kat, did you know sorry, my wife's behind me, and
Yeah.
she's a huge Gossip Girl fan. Do you know there's a connection between Twin Peaks and Gossip Girl? Do you mean in universe, or do you mean actor connection?
In real life. So
is it the Horn family?
Well, here we go. So which Gossip Girl
Oh.
actor has a family connection to Twin Peaks?
Blake Lively? Because that's
That's
the only actress I know from Gossip Girl.
Ditto.
It is Blake Lively. I was trying to remember Taylor Mosman. Is that the actress's name? It's Blake Lively. And for bonus points, do you know what the connection is?
Blake Lively has some connection to Twin Peaks.
Wow. I think this is like phone. You're using your phone a friend right now.
No, she didn't tell me Blake Lively. She was
okay.
peering over to figure out what the interesting trivia was, but I think she lost interest. Blake Lively is like Laura Palmer's niece.
All right. Patrick, do you want to take a stab?
Constitution class.
The answer again is Excelsior. No, it's this is so Blake Lively's older sister is named Robin Lively, and she was in Twin Peaks. Now she had a relatively smaller role later in the series. At some point, I had to remember who she was. There's a character named Lana Budding Milford, and she's like this really, really cute redhead that ends up marrying the super elderly owner of the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they
the mayor's brother, right?
Yes. Yeah. And the mayor is all worried that, this woman is only marrying her brother for the money, but she's really in love with him. That's Blake Lively's sister.
Huh.
Wow. There you go.
Big age, I think 15-year age gap. So it's a little like, oh, okay. But yeah, they are sisters. And there you go.
Let me just delay here just a little bit longer, Patrick, because you want to talk crossovers. There's several Star Trek and Twin Peak crossovers.
Are there?
One of them stands out very clearly in my mind from The Next Generation. Can either of you give me at least one actor who appeared in any Star Trek series and Twin Peaks?
I want to go ahead, Art. Go ahead.
This is a bit of a shot in the dark. I want to say like Ray Wise, but I don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
He was one of them for sure. He was in Next Generation 2 times. The Giant is the one that stands out to me. He appears a couple times as oh my gosh, what's Troy? What's her first name? It's her mom's valet, and he's silent.
Right.
And he like bangs the glasses. It's like a really funny scene.
Stroyakin. Karel Stroyakin.
Yeah, that's the actor's name. Yeah. But what's Troy's name? It's not Vivian Troy from Next Generation.
Troy's the empath, right?
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Deanna. Jeez, Deanna Troy.
Right.
Yeah.
So Deanna Troy's mom has a valet, and then there's like a dozen other people, including Ben Horn, and there's lots of people.
Nice, very nice. So it really kind of makes sense that we go back and forth.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so there you go. That's
Shelley. Shelley's another one. I mean, there's so many. Shelley appears. Ben Horn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
lots
nice.
And lots.
Very nice. All right, so well, there we go. That was our trivia, and nicely done. I think you got them both right.
I think Matt got them both.
Well, you got all three right because there was a garbage one in the beginning.
Well, and Art got the one right. So good job, Patrick.
Look at us.
Excellent. That's what I'm here for, fellas.
Nice.
I'm the eye candy. That's all I'm here for. So
damn right.
Yep. Always here for the views.
Well, you look very dapper tonight, Patrick.
I got a haircut, so I'm
it looks sharp.
I'm svelte now. It's all good. a duck's bottom. Anyway, so Call of Cthulhu. That's what we were doing before. Unless we want to talk about Star Trek, like we could talk about Star Trek
No.
tonight.
Proceed.
No, let's
Okay. I mean, you sure?
I'm ready.
Because like I'm all horned up. It's anyway. Usually, Call of Cthulhu. So you guys are in the town. Do you guys? How much of a recap do you guys want?
None. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So picture this. We'll settle down into the night. You're at the cottage, and as a viewer, the camera angle has shifted from being this wonderful documentary footage to Simon's cell phone cam as you guys run into the cabin from the veritable horde of rats running towards the hedgerow at the back of the house. And I believe that Ellie was kind of still comatose. Simon, you were getting ready to go out and get the camera before it died outside as the rats ran over it. And yeah, what are you guys doing? What's up? What's the plan?
Well, I was going to absolutely make a run for that camera because I need that for my soon to explode YouTube channel. But I remember the light was flickering and fading out. So
I perhaps suspect that it's not flickering and fading out. It's that it's being covered up by rats like pouring over it that make you think it's flickering.
Probably a good choice.
Like blocking out the light and like a really nasty image.
Yeah. So maybe what I would do is I would use my cell phone's flashlight because I can still film myself with the flashlight going. And I would try and see, can I get a path to that camera?
Okay.
As he goes for the door,
Mhm.
Shirley will grab his arm. What are you doing?
Well, Auntie, we need that camera.
No, we don't need it that bad.
Well, Auntie, I mean, my YouTube channel is going to look like every other YouTube channel if I'm just staring at my own camera. I need that other camera for the footage.
What? Well, stop. First off, you're not using our equipment for your YouTube channel. And second off, there is a horde of disgusting rats out there. What makes you think that a camera is worth venturing out there?
Well, Andy, like the footage is on there. We need that footage.
She looks at Tom like, we have footage, right? Like, we're good? You have tapes? What's the deal?
So above the table, remember Tom ran away from the house. He's halfway to town at this point, probably. So the only person there with you is...
She says that to Tom, and then she turns around and realizes Tom is not there.
And Ellie's standing there with the boom, looks left, looks right.
Boom's not plugged into anything.
Yeah, no, she's just standing
still
there.
holding the boom.
Yeah. And she looks at Simon and she says, really, it's not about the... phone cameras these days are... they're so good anyway. Like you can get away with that, but it's in the audio quality that you really
not
need
the point, Ellie.
Right. Right. Rats. Right. Okay. Oh God, rats.
Yeah, lots and lots of rats, Simon.
So above the table?
Yeah.
So we're having this discussion, and I'm trying to get a gauge of what's going on out there. What am I seeing through my phone's lens?
Sure. So as you guys are looking, you kind of see they haven't quite crested the little rickety staircase that has been built down into the woods, but you can definitely see, like, as the moon kind of peeks out from clouds. There's no real lights. It's a real small town. The street lights are all back in town. There's nothing out this way. So as the moon peeks out from behind cloud cover, you see the red beady eyes of the rats as they kind of come up this hill, and they're coming. The hedgerow is, so you guys are kind of standing here in the kitchen, if I remember correctly. You're looking out this window.
Sounds right.
Okay, so you're looking out that window. You see the hedgerow. You think maybe the hedge will give you a couple minutes for them to at least climb over. I mean, maybe unless you left the gate ajar, and then they're gonna come rushing in.
Sure, we did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did too. So they're probably going to bum rush through and be in the back garden in 45 seconds, a minute.
Yeah, Auntie, they didn't teach me to close the gate back in uni. So let me ask a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
You said this kitchen was very old-timey.
Mm-hmm.
like old timey, like it's a gas stove, or old timey, like it's a wood stove where you got to throw the wood in to cook?
We go with wood stove on that one.
Okay.
No natural gas. Hasn't been retrofitted to incorporate natural gas for ease.
Correct. Yeah. No. It's even though it's a very safe and viable alternative fuel. No, it is still using wood. And there's the ice chest over in the corner. Like it's different eras and different parts of the house, and this is probably one of the oldest parts of the house.
Okay. What is there wood, like when the person left, was there still like wood that they would have used the next morning for coffee? Is there wood in the house? Is there matches? Is there that kind of...
Give me a luck roll.
Ugh. All right, let's take a look. You know what? I'm going to spend 2... Oh, no, I can't spend luck on luck.
Can't spend it on luck. So I will say that because that's so close, I'll say that yes, there's wood, but if you go over to pick it up, like it crumbles. Like it's old wood. Like it crumbles in your hand. It's got no support left in it whatsoever.
Okay.
No structure.
All right.
I don't think now is the time for a fire, Simon.
Auntie, you don't take me seriously. You don't think I can think of anything. I have a plan. It's not going to work, though. It all
Simon,
depends on
I'm
this
watching you look out the
shit.
window through, instead of standing up and looking out the window yourself, I'm watching you watch the window through your cell phone. And she like stands up and looks out the window. Like, look, they're still over there. We should probably deal with the fact that there is a lot of them. And I don't like that.
So they're probably about 20 seconds away now from hitting the back hedge.
Yeah. Auntie, we should set the hedge on fire.
Let's do it.
All right, give me
Sounds good to her. I mean, she hates rats, and so yeah.
both.
Okay.
Both of you either give me I'll give you the choice of a spot hidden or a give me a spot hidden roll, both of you actually.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
So
what would be the risk if I pushed it?
Yeah. What's the...
So
Sorry,
if you push, we'll say that there is a potential to find more of those rat traps in the house.
Oh, the rat traps that hurt me. I'll push it.
Correct.
What's the worst that could happen?
There we go.
Nothing. Okay, so you have a moment of clarity there, Shirley, and you think you remember all of those brown bottles full of questionable liquids and that smelled like paint thinner in the other courtyard. Yeah, that you remember seeing a box of matches out there too, because that's a really safe place to keep matches.
Simon, listen up, think fast, lace up those tinnies. Here's what you're gonna do: head out to the shed, grab the paint thinner, grab the matches. I'll meet you by the hedges.
Got it, Auntie. And then I take off running.
Ellie, shut this door behind us. Start finding the heaviest thing you can use, and just look for ways to barricade the house. In the meantime, let's burn some rats.
Okay. She says, on it. She is still holding the boom, and she looks down, she throws it down, and all right. So
kids, wait 1 second before you go. Where there's muck,
we don't give a fuck.
She heads out the back door.
Nice. And so Simon's running like, okay, I'm running to the thing, and here we go. Here we go. I'm finding the and I'm slowing myself down because I'm trying to film it.
Yeah. All right, give me a dodge roll. Let's roll something other than spot hidden.
Another thing I'm not good at.
Yeah, so as you're going, there's no rats yet, but there's a discarded lawn implement or something. All right, we're gonna go there. There's a fucking rake on the ground, and you step around it. You're like, ha, glad I didn't step on that, and bump into a pile of wood against the wall, and it kind of falls down. Somebody stacks up 2x4s or whatever on the side of their house. At least I do. I don't know what you guys do.
Right.
And you get tripped up on that for just a second. So,
okay.
And as you're picking yourself up from the wood, you look up. You're right by the hedge, and you see one rat just staring at you, like 2 feet in front of you on the hedge.
I kind of go.
The rat also goes, ah!
And I try and squeeze lighter fluid on it, or the paint thinner.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a brawl. Why not?
Fighting. Wow, man, I'm so bad at so many things. I'm gonna lose a fight to a rat.
So as you spray this rat, it like hisses at you and then runs off down the hedge, like away from you. It's not gonna mess with you. But you look down, and the can of paint thinner you have is now empty.
Yeah, but they were like, okay, at that moment, Shirley shows up because she realizes she was just staying in the backyard by the hedges after her pep talk. And she's like, why did you only grab one jar? And why are there 2x4s littered across the backyard? Help me grab this stuff.
Fine, Auntie. Realizing that.
And she grabs, I'm going to assume there's like painter's rags or something like that. And she grabs those as many of these jars as she can. And she's totally thinking like Molotov cocktails.
Okay. That works for me. So I assume you were going to make some Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, I mean, once we get the hedges on fire, that's like step 3.
Step 2 or 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So just give me a luck roll, Matt. I'm assuming that you're taking the mantle of. Oof. So the matches are all wet as you pull them out. Like every one you light, like it lights for just a second. You're like, God damn it! Throw it back. Like this happens 2 or 3 times before you. The rats are at the back hedge now because this is happening very quickly. The rats are climbing up the hedge.
Okay, quick, grab as many jars as you can inside.
All right, and I just sort of grump and I start, making my way.
Okay. You guys make it to the back door. Ellie is standing there. She throws open the door for you guys. You guys rush in, and she slams the door shut behind you and grabs that ice chest that I mentioned and like scoots it in front of the door. And it gets really quiet pretty quick all of a sudden. Almost silent.
Okay, we'll look out the window. What do we see?
So, you don't see any rats anymore. It's a pretty perfect moon-filled night.
She really strains her ears. Like, do I hear them in the walls or up on the roof or anything?
You want to give me a listen on that?
Nice.
Silent.
And I mean, there were like thousands, so it's not
there
like
were. It was.
Yeah, we would have seen some sign of them.
It was a real vermintide. Yes, there were. They were inescapable tidal waves of rats, basically.
What's the camera doing out on the path? Can we see the light?
Yep, light's back on. Sitting there, looks fine. The little red recording light is on.
So, like, imagine like we all hunkered down against the door and we were like bracing for this thud, and then the thud never came. Okay, I want everyone to take 2 of these, and she, if you're okay with it, fashions some type of like cloth dipped in the mason jars full of paint thinner.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I know I made you roll to light matches, but I'm not going to make you roll for this. You guys are all. There's no panic setting in. Like the rats are gone. That's panic inducing by itself, probably. But you've been around cleaners and you're all doctors and chemists, or at least studied something. So yeah, I think you can fashion something. Also, how hard can it be to dip cloths in paint thinner?
Right. We'll need a way to light these.
I'll show you how.
We'll need a way to light these, but I say we get our gear and get out of here, and we'll pay the cost to get out of the contract, because this is disgusting and we did not sign up for this. Also, we're not cleaning an entire forest, so.
Ellie agrees, and she is like quickly picking up stuff, and she's got a fire poker in her hand at this point.
Nice.
Like, or a frying pan, frying pan. We're gonna go with frying pan. And it's a big old cast iron pan. and the boom in the other hand, and she sets the boom down for a second and hands you a lighter. She says, "You didn't ask," and picks up the boom and starts walking, like tentatively sticks the boom out the door.
I test the lighter.
It works.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Put it in my pocket.
Auntie, if it's okay, let me get the camera, all right? It's
I'll
clear.
go. I'll go. Do you have your jar of paint thinner?
I hold it up, ready to go, Auntie.
Well, let's put the lid on that. Twist the lid on for him. There you go.
Does it take a second because it's like a child lock and you have to like push it down and yeah?
No, it's a mason jar lid. He just forgot to put it on.
Gotcha. Firmly
Holding
grasped.
holding a jar with a wet rag full of soaked in paint thinner. Okay, I say we all get the gear together, see what else we dropped on the path, and then we get the hell out of this nightmare forest and disgusting place.
Okay. So Simon, you're grabbing the camera, and are you grabbing anything, Shirley?
And she reaches into her pocket to like make sure the lighter's there, and she reaches in the wrong pocket, and then she like reaches in and then she pulls out like one of the rat skulls that she started to collect when she had her little bout of I don't remember what the technical term was anymore, but whenever she had that little bout, get the camera. Is anything else? And she pulls out her own like little cell phone light to hit the areas where the light from the camera isn't reflecting.
Yeah, and I'm using the camera light to sort of shine it one more time in the trees and the path and stuff to see if I see anything.
Okay. So from where you guys are standing next to the house, you don't see anything hanging in the trees. Looks like a perfectly quaint little English countryside forest. And the moon's out, and the hedges are looking nice. Yeah, perfectly nice, normal. I think we said it was fall, so it's probably a little chilly.
Lovely.
And yeah, nice cuppa would do you nice right now.
Now, the smell, I assume it's still quite overpowering?
Yes.
Okay. Are there still maggots dropping?
Not from where you're standing.
Okay.
Not that you can see, and not that you can hear, but it does still stink to high heavens.
Okay. So yeah, so I shine up in the trees, and I guess I'm assuming I'm still seeing the array of rat bodies.
Not from the back of the not from the courtyard, but if you want to walk into the forest, you can, you probably poke your head up there and see.
What I want to do is, I want to open that gate, and I just want to shine the light down the path. Not going down the path. I just want to see,
Simon.
I know,
Simon,
Auntie.
what?
Hold on.
She reluctantly follows
Auntie,
behind
one
him.
sec. Hold on. I just gotta. Hey guys, this is Simon Says. I'm back, and oh my god.
She pokes her head over his shoulder. What are you doing? Like right when you go live on your Twitch or whatever. What are we doing?
Auntie, we just Auntie, and I'm like, let me just see what's down this path.
Okay.
And again, I'm not gonna maybe really walk down it. I just want to shine the camera light down and see if it reveals anything.
Looks perfectly normal. Give me a nature roll though, or a natural world roll. Yeah, no, looks perfectly fine. Looks perfectly fine to you.
All right, have you got what you needed? Let's.
Yeah, but I mean, Auntie, like, I don't know. Aren't you?
Am I hearing the call of Cthulhu? Not exactly.
Oh my god, he said the title in the dialogue.
Meta! It's so meta!
No, nothing is calling me forward. Like, what? Yeah, there were rats. It's a rat catcher's place. I don't even want to think about what this old creep did and why there's so many rats in this forest and why it smells like the literal worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. And I've seen your lobster pot. So she's curious. Now that she's like standing next to him, she does like peer in, and maybe she just like pushes against the gate ever so lightly. But still nothing, I'm assuming, right? Like is there anything that's even like catching our eye, or it just looks like a path that goes deeper into the woods?
So I want you to give me a natural world roll now, please. No, nothing. It just looks. I think that, and that's disturbing, right? It looks perfectly normal. Like the steps go down into the woods. You know, the trees are waving in the breeze a little bit.
We have different definitions of disturbing because that sounds very quaint and charming, and I want to be there.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, it's disturbing given what you just went through, and now there's no rats, right? Like, you know, that's you're feeling a little out of place.
She untwists one of her jars and she sniffs the paint thinner. I don't know which is worse, but I think we must have gotten in that shed, and when I stepped on the trap, I think I must have spilt one of these. I think we're all just maybe hallucinating a little bit from the paint thinner. I think that's got to explain it. And she looks up in the trees again, looking for like the skeletons and stuff. Do we see those?
Where are you standing?
Like
you're at the gate, right?
Yeah.
No.
But not at our gate. We're like back on the path where the camera was.
Didn't we drop? All right, above the table. I had figured that you guys dropped the camera like back here somewhere.
Oh no, I think it's on the path. Like I imagine.
Okay,
we're in the. Sorry, I thought there was another gate inside the woods. No. I imagine we're in the woods. Unless
you're
you
like
think
back here.
I pictured the camera was on the far side of the gate because we had the nuggets dropping on us.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of where I think we dropped it at.
Gotcha. Okay. Good points. No, you don't see anything.
So there's no skeletons in that. Well, then that explained it, Simon. I think you and I both, and who knows where the name of my husband, I can't remember. Who knows where Paul is right now, but I bet all of us just had too much paint thinner up our noses.
So
and didn't you fall in that toilet? Like, I think this just explains a lot. I think we imagined all of it.
Look, Auntie, this is not my first time breathing paint thinner, first of all. And I don't think that's what paint thinner does. Look, at uni...
I wouldn't know, Simon.
Right. Like at uni, I might have tried something. Look, so above the table, do we see any indication of where the rats might have gone?
No, unless you want to try and roll something, and I'm open to your suggestions there. No.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, above the table, Matt, do we just retreat?
Yeah, I mean,
it's at this point that you hear the church bell ringing in the distance. Two rings. 2:00 in the morning.
Oh.
She surely checks her watch. Is it 2:00 in the morning?
It is, in fact, 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, my goodness. Where's the time gone?
I was going to say, we have lost track of time.
Because we went into the woods when it was getting dark. It was not quite dark yet.
This is correct, yes.
And she looks at the paint thinner and be like, "You've sniffed this before? Does this happen?"
No, not like this.
She takes another whiff and like... And then she takes another whiff of fresh air, but then she gets the rotting smell, and then she's like back. I can't believe we need to find Paul and Tom and what happened. Like, because we don't think like 9 hours passed, right?
Probably no. It wouldn't. It does. It probably doesn't feel like that to you guys.
Okay. No. She gets like chills down her spine, like, and has this like sense of dread and regret. Like if you wake up from a night of heavy drinking and like can't remember anything, and she's like, "That's not right. We went into the woods at dusk, and it's 2 a.m."
It's at that point that you hear a twig snap somewhere in the middle distance.
Hello? Hello? You?
Hello?
Oh my God. I just heard something. Hold on a second. Something might be coming. Hold on.
Just more breeze pulling through the trees. Both of you give me a spot hidden roll, please.
Wow.
Oh.
100 versus 65 for Shirley. 12 versus 65 for Simon.
So, Simon, as you put your put your arm up, and you've got the camera, and you're looking at the direction of the sound, and you see the trees moving, and it's just something catches your, like, something's off. Like, you've just, something in the lizard part of your brain goes, no, this is not right. And you look down at your arm, and you don't feel a breeze. You look up at the trees, and the trees are still waving in the breeze. And again, you look down at your arm, like the grass around you, no breeze.
Yeah, so I take the camera, the light on the main camera, and I just kind of arc it up kind of slowly, like, oh God.
So it's just the trees. It's just the trees waving. But that's it. Still no breeze. Now that you've noticed it, it is stock still outside. Like, there's no breeze, no cool fall wind. It is just stuffy, standing still.
Do I hear anything? Do I hear, like, the trees?
Yeah. They're making rustling noises, like trees would in the breeze.
Okay, but I'm not hearing a breeze either, aside from not feeling it.
I'm sorry, no, I meant, yes, you are hearing the trees as if there was a breeze, yes.
Got it, okay.
So the trees are making noise as if there was a breeze, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, Auntie, are you seeing this?
She looks, and it takes her a while, but maybe after you point it out, she sees it, and she picks up a rock. She chucks it into the trees.
Makes the same noises, does everything that you would expect a rock to do when you throw it at a tree. Hits the tree, bangs off the rock, bangs off the trunk, comes down.
The things moving on the tree don't react in any way or anything like that?
No. No, as far as you can tell, it's just the tree.
Simon, I'm beginning to get a little worried, and I would like to find Paul.
Yeah, of course, Auntie. That makes total sense. Can I just borrow that lighter?
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see your phone. Hello, boys.
Why do you still have Ellie's pictures up on your phone?
Auntie! And while she's sort of very rudely swiping through my photos, I might add, I light the Molotov cocktail I had, and then I throw it up into the branches of the trees.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Do I make you roll a throw for that? Nah.
Do you want us to fail?
I was about to say,
yeah,
you want
that's
some
the
comedy.
question. Only roll if you're prepared for us to fail.
No. So you throw it up into the trees, and yes, the tree catches fire. And you hear what sounds at first like a really loud wind, like a gale force wind, just picks up intensity. But then as you sit there and this tree catches on fire, you hear a at the end of it. And I need all of you to make some sanity checks, please.
Yeah, so I'm on my phone. I'm like, okay, oh my God, look at the trees burning. And then I hear that noise and I just go, and I just freeze right in front of my camera. Sanity check. Mm-hmm. That is right there.
Okay, so Art, you're good because you want to fail sanity checks.
Yes.
So let's pull this part up.
No, you want to pass sanity checks and fail intelligence rolls, right?
Oh.
Do I have that backwards?
I'm pretty sure. You don't want to know what it is, but you want to pass sanity usually.
Okay. I think then I meant you guys to make an intelligence roll there.
Okay.
But, yeah, sorry. Okay, so strike that, reverse it. Shirley, you're good because you failed. Simon,
I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I got an extreme success.
yeah, you've never been more sure that something really horrible is coming to get you. So I'm going to review this again because I like to review things on camera. So I believe it was roll a d8, and that's how many rounds this is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. You know, I listened to this segment earlier today. I was like, I should probably make sure to check this before we start. I'm like, yeah, it won't happen. And yet, here we are. All right, so. All right, so Matt Shirley is going to lose 2 sanity points for passing. And Mr. Art, roll me a d6, please.
D6. Here we go. 3.
All right, so you are going to lose 3 sanity points.
Oof.
And you are going to get a bout of madness.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
So roll me a d10.
D10. I rolled a 10.
All right, the investigator gains a new mania.
Nice.
Roll me that sweet D100, please.
All right. 25.
We'll make this make sense if it's weird. 25. You have claustrophobia, sir, which makes sense. So as you are standing in the trees here, you swear that they start to close in around you, and you are feeling like you've never been more trapped in your life. As these trees swallow you up, or feel like they are. So, what are you going to do with that?
Wow. So I need to get out of here, but I don't want to go in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I start running. Man, where would be looking at this map? I feel like it's all bad for claustrophobia.
Well, don't forget you could run back to town, or to the church, or to the the rest of Muscovy.
Yeah, so maybe like a gallant, heroic gentleman. I grab the camera and I just take off, and women and children first is not something I've ever heard in this moment. I'm just gone.
You're booking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've, my poor aunt who has like a leg injury.
Yeah.
Not thinking of it. Ellie, the girl
and
I'm
holding
sort of
your phone.
crushing on.
No, I think you have your phone back.
Yeah, so you're booking it. Matt, is Shirley doing anything to stop this? Or are you distracted by the roar and letting...
No, I mean, she doesn't really the roar doesn't have any effect on her. I mean, she passes sanity.
Sure.
And so I guess it was like chilling, but she chalks it up to just being like the roar of the tree catching on fire. So again, she will... I guess Ellie, come on, let's get him. Don't want to lose someone else. And she starts chasing after Simon, and she's trying to calm him down. Simon, talk to us.
So, but as you guys are running, and Ellie's gonna she's gonna give you a shoulder to lean on and help you hobble along after Simon. If I remember correctly, let me see if I can pull this map up. Let's just move you guys over this way. Bloop.
Nice.
So you guys went up this way, right? So, and there was a church kind of splitting the difference between... There's a church and a big field, and then you hit the edge of the woods and the cottage you were just at. So you're basically standing in that big field because that's about the most open place that you can find at the moment. Art, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
so you guys are standing. You see the quaint village of Muscovy. A couple of lights here and there in the village. Even for 2 a.m., there's a couple of street lights on, and it looks very quaint in front of you. The church, the boarded up church, is to your left, we'll say, and the cottage is behind you. Yeah, there you guys are.
Simon, let's go back to the cottage. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's calm down. Everything will be okay.
Auntie, no, you don't understand. Like, there was something out there. I heard this. I've never heard anything about it like it in my life. I don't even know what that was.
I'm sure it was just the tree catching on fire, Simon. You're fine.
So, sorry, Auntie, so you want us to go back to the cottage? First, above the table.
Yeah.
Where's Uncle
so you
Paul?
can calm down.
Do we just
above the
leave
table? No, he ran off. So Tom and Paul and Manda ran off with
Got it.
with the rats.
Okay. So it's just the three of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you're standing there, as you say fire and you talk about the fire, as you've run farther away from the house, the smell has gotten much less, right? And it's been replaced with this kind of pungent burning smell. And you guys turn around and you see that tree that you threw a Molotov cocktail on is on fire and smoking. And you hear the wee wee wee, and like the one fire marshal brigade guy is driving, I don't know what rural English firefighters drive, but I assume it's some kind of all-terrain looking Jeep thing, very small, with a little tank of water, because it's out in the middle of nowhere. So he's driving with this little truck, and he drives, but he stops for a second. It's a big guy with a big bushy mustache. He says, "Oh, you lot all right?"
Yes, we're fine. They're just calming my nephew down. I think we were startled by the woods, and there was a tragic accident. Must have been freak static electricity. A tree erupted in flames in front of us.
Right, love. That's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard. Why don't you go on into town and get yourself a cuppa at the tavern, and
Yeah,
I'll be back to question you all after I deal with this, contain this fire. And he floors it and drives off in his little Jeep thing, his golf cart, his fire patrol golf cart.
Simon, how are you feeling?
So, above the table, do you need me to roll for anything to start calming down, or?
You can try.
Okay.
Just because above the table, your roll was for.
Well, so how it works, there's only, the uncontrol is only, temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, underlying claustrophobia for a certain amount of hours. It's not like you're not permanently freaking out.
Yeah, and I was going to say that claustrophobia you rolled for 8 hours.
Okay.
So,
but even then, it's mild claustrophobia at this
right.
point. Once you get away from it and stuff, there's 2 phases of.
Okay. So if I am able to calm down, or if there's a procedure to check, I would, I guess, check that, and then sort of say, Auntie, what are you thinking?
I think you're calm enough. You'll be uncomfortable in confined spaces.
If you lose one more point of sanity, then you're indefinitely. That's when you. Oh, actually, well, but it doesn't really matter. It's anytime you lose a fifth, and so we both had lost a fifth.
Yes.
So, in any one day, but regardless of that fact,
we'll hand wave that and
yeah.
say next time you guys get more sanity points, we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, we're probably both teetering on the edge.
Yeah, it's been a night.
Simon, I am rather done with this town. I do not understand your obsession with remaining here and lighting things on fire. I want to find Paul. I want to punch Paul in the dick for being a jerk and leaving us behind, and then chew Tom's ass out for leaving us behind.
Okay.
Don't even get me started on Manda. Perhaps we should head to the van, check batteries. It's dark, and then go find them. Maybe they're waiting for us.
Okay. If you guys are good with that path, Art, were you good with that?
Yeah, right. Do we need to split up, Auntie? Do we need to cover more ground that way?
Split the party.
Split it. Do it. We'll do a little hand wave as you guys. We'll fast forward through town. You guys are. You walk past the one kind of open business establishment, and I know that pubs close at 10 or whatever, but in this American version of England, they don't. So
wait, do pubs really close at 10 in England? Is that
They
a
do
thing?
actually. It's bad. Yeah, they close it. I don't know if it's 10, but they close at midnight, I think.
Good
So
heavens.
I know. Like, how do they even? That's just getting started. Anyway. So I say that like somebody who goes out often.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Look at those
That's-
cowards. Like, I'm going
yeah.
out to the pub every night.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah,
bed by 10 o'clock.
I
But
was about to say 8:30. Ooh, 10 o'clock. You're a night owl. Jesus. So you guys make it through the village. You know, you see the same two kind of guys that were sitting at the bar earlier,
nice.
still sitting at the bar, and you know, you chug past them, and you make it to the car park on the other side of town. You pass through the parking lot. There's a sign that says, "Thanks for visiting Muscovy. We're glad you stopped by." And you make it to the empty car park.
No van.
No van.
I am going to murder Paul. Why? Like, what? Why? Where is the van? Where is Paul? What? Simon, what?
Oh my god, I can't believe this.
Simon, put your fucking phone away.
Sorry, Auntie.
My husband has left us here with YouTube's hottest next star, and God bless you,
Simon says,
Ellie, but why the hell are you still holding the boom mic? And why is it in my face?
She looks at you and she like slowly pulls the boom down, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find things to do. Like, I'm just nervous. I work through my nervousness."
I am sorry to both of you. It is not your fault that you and Tom and my husband and Manda apparently decided to get in the van and leave us all in England's shittiest town. And she just yells it. Like,
So it's at this point, Shirley, that your phone dings.
oh, lovely. I bet I have a new subscriber.
No, it's an extended car warranty. No, I'm kidding. It's
I'm
it's
trying to reach you.
it's a text message from Manda, and it says, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Question mark.
do you need me to translate that, Auntie? Oh,
No,
damn!
I got it. I got it, Simon. You just lost your one subscriber. And she, yeah. No, I'm not okay. Where is the van? Where is my husband?
Now I have to ask above the table: are you typing this, or are you talking into your phone like this? The talks to
Voice
text.
to text? No, she's
Yeah.
texting.
Okay, she's texting.
And then I've got
she
my
said-
phone surreptitiously up. We've been abandoned. And Auntie's now talking with our producer, Amanda, wondering where everyone is.
So, I gotta go remember where the closest big town was. I think it was Birmingham was the closest big town. So she writes back, Beham, period. Had to get out of there, period. Glad to hear you are alive.
All
period.
of you? Question mark?
Paul drove, period.
Yeah, and she takes her phone and she throws it on the on
The
the main
cobblestones?
road. No, she chucks it all the way to like the freeway. I don't know what they call it in the Tooby-Loo. I don't know what they call
the
it.
Toobity-Boo. The Tickety-Boo road, yes.
Yeah.
So it hits the Tickety-Boo and bounces, lands in the culvert on the other side of the highway.
So
Ellie, the boom comes down into the scene for a second, and then
Well, I guess we're staying here tonight. Shall we head to the inn?
yeah, sure.
yeah, Ellie nods and puts the boom down, and it's gonna be okay, Shirley. I'm sure that they have beds.
Come here, love. I'm sorry I snapped at you. Simon. Oh, I'm sorry I snapped at you too. I don't take everything back. I said I'm sure your
I
YouTube
don't
channel.
take
I can't say it seriously, Simon. Like I'm still a little upset about that. I'm sorry about snapping at you, but your YouTube channel is going to be let's find the inn.
All right.
No sleeping shots, Simon. You're turning your phone off when we get in the room. Weirdo.
Ellie looks at you quizzically. She's like, sleeping shots.
Yeah, like artsy like pans of the room while we're all sleeping in the beds. Like
she like straightens up and she's like, "Oh," and
People
she
do
like
that.
she drops back behind the two of you. She's like, "I'm not gonna stand." Yeah, of all the things, that's what gets her set off the most.
Okay.
Yeah. She's
All
like,
right.
okay. All right. So you guys walk. As you investigate around town, there are a couple of options for you to knock on. There isn't an inn. This town is small enough where there's no Hilton Garden Inn, Muscovy. Like there's not even a Days Inn, Muscovy. There's not even a Motel 6, Muscovy. There's the tavern. There's Lucy's tea shop that's also the post office. And there's a church that's like closed. The other church, the second church. There are two churches.
Well, I guess we'll hit the tavern and ask them if we can stay anywhere. Simon,
Okay.
any objections?
No.
So you guys go in. It is the Stag's Head Inn, because of course it is. Or excuse me, the Stag's Head Tavern. And there's the two guys that are sitting at the bar. No barkeep, as far as you can tell. And that's it. Little radio playing some like, it's watermelon sugar. Watermelon sugar. Yeah, just playing in the corner. And they barely even look up from their drafts at you.
So she smooths her where there's muck shirt, her khakis, like her cleaning khakis, sort of what she's wearing. I'll take your house red, please.
And one of the two, so there's a very old gentleman, and then there's a very young gentleman. They both have a very striking resemblance to each other. The old guy looks over and he says, "Pub's closed, love. Well, but if you look like you could use a red." He leans across the bar, pulls another glass out from, looks like it's been cleaned maybe at some point, and pours the flattest red you've ever seen and hands it to you and says, "Drink up, love."
Thank you, Ta. They'll be needing some as well. And she just like in one gulp.
And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, I see that. You probably need some more, aye?" And he picks himself up and walks around the corner, and the other guy says, "Oh, da, what are you doing?" And says, "Shut your gob." And this guy, he hands out three tall 4-finger glasses of some brown liquid, and says, "You look like you'd use a little something stronger." And yeah.
I tell you what we could use is somewhere to sleep for the three of us. We have been left behind, apparently.
Oh, you're staying in Muscovy? Ah, that's terrible. Why would
It
you
is
stay
terrible.
Why would you stay in Muscovy? There's nothing good in Muscovy, I tell you. And he says, "Except me old ma," and he pours out just a tiny sip. He says, "My old ma, she's buried somewhere out past the church, and Muscovy is just a terrible place.
That's lovely.
He says, "My name's George, old George. That's my boy, young George."
Old George, young George. This is Simon, my nephew, Ellie. This is my nephew's crush, Ellie, and you can call me Shirley. Oh, and this is our YouTube star, Simon. Now about the beds. Any place we can stay in this town?
You could crash here. I got a couple of beds in the back.
Of
Well,
course.
couple of beds. That's probably being a little generous, isn't it? It's really just a couple of pull-out futons, and I haven't got any sheets, but we've got some kind of blankets somewhere in the house. Hey, George, you go find some blankets. I'll go find some blankets. Says, "Oh, shut your gob." And so he plops himself. He's got his elbows up. He's like, "So what's got you looking like that right there, loves?"
I'm a house cleaner. And
Oh, I figured with the black lace and the lacy thing and the funny hat.
That's
I figured you were a wee French maid, aye?
Yeah, not quite the outfits we wear. Are those beds ready yet? It's been a long night. I lost track of time. I didn't realize it was so late.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot in Muscovy.
Does it?
It does. It does. Did the mayor call you? It's big doings. We had to vote on it to appropriate town funds and all that. Yeah,
Oh yes, that's us. That's us.
Oh,
You
I
may have
see.
seen us on TV.
Aye, where there's muck, that's when we fuck. Yes, I remember.
So
That's been a working title.
Quite the catchy song, quite the catchy thing. That's right, love. I've been seeing that. Yes. Hey, and you over there, little boy. Why are you on your phone? There's no cell service in this town here. Hey, don't you know, love?
and so then that's when I sort of, take the camera that got dropped
Mm-hmm.
and I, flip open its display screen and I start scrubbing through the footage to see if it caught anything.
Okay.
And if it did, well, I guess we'll see if it caught anything.
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay.
I think it caught y'all's feet and the conversation of, I must stack the rat heads. Must stack them here. Got to stack the rat heads. And Ellie screaming and running. And then you just see your face like planted in front of it from where you fainted. And it's like you're drooling out this. Like, it's a really super ultra close up.
Classic.
And then you hear squeaking, and then the camera gets covered by something.
And that's when I turn to the gentleman and I'm like, "Do you hear that noise a lot from the woods?"
Only when my missus was around. We used to have that around. That noise, that squeaking noise. Aye, yeah, that's when we used to. But no, not. You guys are out there cleaning old Gertine's place, yeah?
We were. I think we're done.
Oh, aye. He used to keep it pretty spotless. I can't believe that they needed cleaned.
Well, where there's muck, we're happy to
Yeah.
lend a hand.
Down to fuck. I understand. Yes. But yeah, since old Gertine got hit by that bus, the town's been really trying to clean that whole area up. It's a god awful smell out that way, yeah? Hey, isn't it, love?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody goes around there because of that stink.
Mm-hmm.
Has
I
anybody
can see why.
ever thought of doing something about the stink?
I mean, you aren't the first crew that we've called out to look at the dead, are you, love? YouTube boy.
First of all, it's Simon Says, not YouTube, boy.
Like, isn't that one of those like bop it games? Simon Says, twist it, bop it, shank it, fuck it. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Simon Says, Mr. Bop It.
I'm realizing this name is going to come back on me 10 different ways, but
That's right, you bop it, bop it. I understand.
yeah. What do you mean we're not the first crew?
Well, I mean, you're the fun, funky, MTV-esque, Sky 7, show that comes out in here, bless you souls. But, we've actually hired, like, professional cleaners before to come out here and take care of this. And, they all kind of leave, or they never make it out here, or they suddenly lose their contacts. But, come to think of it, that happened 2 or 3 times now that I think about it. Huh. Hey, Georgie, you get them beds ready yet? Ah, yeah, Pa. Ah, shut your gob.
So, I'm like, so nobody's ever been out to those trees to see what's out there?
Why would we go out there? It stinks to fucking high heavens.
And
I think the preacher went out there once. He never talked about it, though. He came back, closed his church up, and left town.
And what was it? Oh man, what was I about to say? Forget it. Totally blanked. Beet juice. So finally, I'm like, I apologize. I forget the rat catcher's name.
I don't know if I've said it except in passing. Old Gertine.
Old Gertine.
Yeah, Gurten. Teen.
Okay, and I'm like, and did you mention that he was the one that was hit by the bus?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, tell me about Old Gertine, because I gotta tell you, we saw some things.
Old Gertine. He's Gilbert Oswin Gertine. He and me da go back, and his dad, my dad's da go back. And I think really our das went back together too. He's a rat catcher, just like his da was his rat catcher. And before that, his da was his rat catcher for the town. Come to think of it, the Gertine family has been in Muscovy for as long as anybody can remember. And we don't have the longest memories from, and he holds up a glass, and he's like, from this. We do remember in the records, which have all been since shipped off to Appleford up the road, just because the library closed down. It's a tea shop now. Used to be the post office too, but it's a tea shop and a post office now. Used to be a library. Long time ago. Lucy is a really lovely person. You should really talk to Lucy. She's quite nice. She's got some really good muffin tops too. And she's just very pleasant. Crumpets. And you should see her lobster pot when she brings it out. But we were talking about Gertine. Yeah, so his da and my da. Oh, right. So you hear young Georgie, oh, da, will you just get on with it? Oh, shut your gob. And he says, so anyway, legend says, or at least local legend says, that Muscovy's always had a rat catcher. And the rat catcher's always lived in that cottage, just out past the church. And as long as anybody can remember, that's just how it's been. So come to think of it, this is probably the first time Muscovy hasn't had a rat catcher since, it's been on probably, I can't think of the last time we didn't have a rat catcher. And he does a damn fine job too. You see one rat or one mouse in this town? No, sir, you don't.
Well...
Potato,
potato, but I think it's about time you guys stepped up to the plate and go ahead and hire the next rat catcher.
Well,
we saw some evidence of droppings. I just want to make sure everything's on the up and up. You should really talk to your mayor. You seem like a fine, upstanding, active participant in local politics. Take my word for it. You want the rat catcher. You want the rat catcher soon.
You see, love, it's because we would hire another rat catcher, but you see, we've blown the entire town's budget on having you come through and clean that house out. So there's no budget.
Well, we are the fourth, so look, I'm not to blame for your lack of fiscal restraint. I'm telling you, you want the rat catcher.
And I'm like, do you guys know that it's not the house that smells? The house doesn't need cleaning.
I've never been out there. I would never go out there.
Okay.
It smells so bad.
Yeah.
Farthest I've made it is the church.
The house doesn't need cleaning.
Really? I mean, the pictures that he's seen on his little phone, he brings his phone. Old Gertine's very hip on the TikTok. And he used to talk about catching rats and show off his paint thinner traps and he built a better rat trap, I think. But yeah, all the pictures on the YouTubes and the TikToks, his house was always pretty clean. I never understood why his house stank so high.
Well, his house doesn't.
Well, what does stink?
Something in the woods.
It's the woods.
Well, that makes sense. You wouldn't be paid to clean the woods now, would you? That's company land.
And we weren't a company. Which company?
I'm sorry. County lands.
Oh,
county lands.
Yeah.
Yes, that's county lands. Yes.
Yeah, so our job is actually done. It's just we happen to be stuck here, and that's why we need those luxurious beds. Those have to be ready by now, right?
Young Georgie, have you chased the cockroaches out of the beds back there? Oh, aye, Pa. I don't hear you smacking the sheets out, And young George sticks his head around. He says, "Oh, aye, they're ready now." He says, "Oh, it took you long enough, boy." Well, can I get you anything else? Anything else I can?
Above the table, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, right?
It is.
Yeah. I think Simon, if the beds are ready, Simon would be like ready to go. But as he gets ready, like, as everybody's in bed, he has his phone out and he just quickly tries to search for Gertine's TikTok, see if it's blown up, and if it has, like, what has he got that I don't?
All right, so a couple of things. Matt, is Shirley going back there too?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so it's a bedroom. There's a bunch of not a bedroom. It's like the storeroom. There's a bunch of beer cases on the ground, and there's only 2 beds. 2 pull-out futons from 1962, probably.
Well, before this becomes an issue, Ellie, you and I can share a futon, and trust me, this is for the best.
Ellie looks at Simon and just you swear you see her wink for a second, and then she goes to like getting ready for bed. And so we'll fast forward a little bit. You guys are laying in bed, and you are looking for Old Gertine's TikTok, which is the Rat Zaddy.
Nice.
is what his TikTok is.
Nice.
And really, it's just a bunch of really terrible like Fortnite dances as he's making rat traps.
Okay.
But he has 600,000 views.
That's what I was about to
his
say.
Videos. And you can see the most recent video is actually a check-in video, and it says, and it looks like he's in a hospital bed. Which I assume you want to look at it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's him laying in the bed, and he's got like 2 casts, and the phone is obviously being held by a nurse. He says, "Oh, hey there, everybody! It's your pal Rat Zaddy, and I'm sitting here at the Appleford Hospital. I decided to wrestle a bus and lost. Coming out of the woods." On the other side, on the Appleford side, so there won't be any cool hip dabs or TikToks coming from me anytime soon. But hopefully the Rat Pack will stay together and be ready for me to come back out of retirement as the Rat Zaddy. Signing off, and remember, hit that like and subscribe button.
I'm like, damn it, Rat Zaddy's so much better than Simon Says.
750,000 views on that video.
Okay, so I guess with that, if other people are starting to drift off, I guess given how late it is, I probably wouldn't be able to keep my eyes open at this point.
I will say one last piece of information from that video is that video was recorded yesterday.
Like when we supposedly got into town.
I thought he's been gone for weeks.
Right, he's been gone for weeks, but he's in the hospital still. So I'm sorry. We'll put it as, just for continuing, we'll put it as 2 days before.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but he's in the hospital. You can assume from that he is still in the hospital in Appleford.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess with that, I'd let the night go and wait till morning.
Okay. Matt, drifting off?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie cuddles you the whole night. Like she is a bed hog. It's awful. It's
Lovely.
a very, very uncomfortable sleep. And Simon is snoring.
Yeah, Shirley's pissed off anyway, so she can't sleep anyways, so.
So it gets to be about 4 a.m. and you've dozed a little bit, Shirley. But give me a listen check.
Okay.
Oof, 91 versus 65.
Jeez.
At that point, you finally drift off to sleep as you hear, you're like really pissed off at Tom, and you're really pissed off at Paul, and you start to think, oh, that's a really nice, that sound of the leaves rustling is really nice on the roof, and you pass out. So it's next morning. It's about 8 o'clock, 8:30. And you hear, not obnoxious, and definitely not, not, he's trying to be quiet, but there's definitely glasses, like, being washed, and, like, plates being cleaned, and, like, out in the kitchen area, or behind the bar area.
So you kind of come out. Oh, man. I slept like a rock. I hope you guys slept well.
Shirley's like up and she's texting Amanda like, ETA.
And I start looking around like, do Do they do a country breakfast? Do they have anything going on?
Full English.
Yeah.
Matt, give me a luck roll real quick.
A luck roll for whether or not my husband picks me up.
No, a luck for the. Remember, we did talk about this. A luck for your mobile phones. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yes, as you start to text Paul, your phone starts ringing, and it's Paul.
Okay. Ta love. She's just like super chipper.
Hey, Shirley.
Hey.
How are you, babe?
Love, I am wonderful. I'm hoping that you and I are able to get a nice, cozy little breakfast here at this lovely pub we stayed at last night. Not an inn. It's much more rustic. So I would love to see you. I just can't wait.
So, I don't really know how we got here to Birmingham. It's all kind of a blur. Amanda said that you told us to go on and, tell their story.
Paul, stop.
Yes, love.
Stop. I'll see you soon, right?
So,
Paul, I'll see you soon, right?
So a kind of unseasonably early winter storm came through.
No, stop, Paul. I don't care. You do everything in your power and come get us out of this hellhole. I can't wait to have breakfast with you. I'm literally your wife. You will, as you vowed, move heaven and hell to come and get me out of here.
I thought that was just move heaven in Cancun. I don't
Paul.
remember the Yes, love.
Start driving right now. I do not care what the circumstances are. This is ridiculous. I am your spouse. We are caring for young Simon here, and we can't leave Ellie in a town like this.
Yeah, Simon was texting me last night. He said you guys were fine.
I don't believe that. Paul, in the car now. I do not care what the excuses are. In the car now. In the car now. Clear?
You hear Amanda in the background like, Paul, we need to film some more C-roll stuff.
No, I better hear the van, Paul. This is not a joke. I am your wife. Get in the van.
He says, yes, love. I'm coming right now.
All right, see you soon.
And
bye.
then you hear, click.
Well, shall we get some breakfast?
So you guys go out, and it's young George out there. He says, all right, how you guys doing this morning, eh?
Oh, lovely George. Our ride should be here soon. I think young Simon is quite hungry, young George.
It'd be interesting to see if anybody gets out here today.
Oh, he will. He will.
I heard there was an unseasonably early winter storm up in Birmingham last
night. Young George, he'll be here.
Right, you are, love. He gets the message. And he drops a very tall glass of 4 fingers of some brown liquid in front of you. He says, how are the dog there, lovey? Just a nice breakfast. And then he turns to Simon and Ellie, and he's like, and you two lovebirds, what can I get you? I have toast, and toast.
And I'm like, oh, no. I mean, we're not together. Not that I wouldn't, but but I don't think we're together. We're not together, right? Yeah, I don't think we're not. Yeah, no, I could see how you could see that, but we're not together. And yeah,
we're
I'll
all
take
together.
toast.
One tab. We'll all take toast.
Toast, right. And he looks and he's like, if you ever get tired of this joker, you could get you a real country boy out of here, eh? And and Ellie and sits down and enjoys her toast with butter.
Shirley grabs a piece of toast. Young George, I may be on the market soon.
And he gives you a solid up and down. He says, all right.
Easy, young George.
He attempts a wink or something. He's like, I'll give you extra butter on your toast. He says,
anyways, let's talk about plans for today. Simon, Ellie, any ideas?
Well, Auntie, I thought, we got probably a little while to wait for Unky to come. I was going to head over to the post office.
Unky. Sorry. Unky. Sorry.
That's the thing. I apologize to our English listeners. I don't know. Do you call your uncles lifts or
do you
trolleys?
Semi.
or lofts or lorries. What do you call your uncles?
I don't think it's unkies.
It's definitely not uncles. It's probably
My-
uncle.
My head canon is now lorries for uncles.
Well, your lorry should be here soon, but I guess if you want to head over to the post office, why not? And
young
Shirley is so fed up with all of this.
Do you want to come,
Young-
Auntie?
Yeah, what else am I going to do? Have toast?
Young George brings another plate of toast and sets it on the table.
Lovely, young George.
He says, right, and they're the only place in town where you can get tea too, a nice cuppa. All I've got is this brown stuff and some slightly lighter brown stuff. So, and some red stuff, but that's mostly brown stuff too. But
George, you've done your best. You've done more than enough, and I'm sorry if I've been a little short. I do very sincerely appreciate the beds last night.
yeah, and the bed bugs weren't too bad either when I flapped the bed out.
George, they were fine. Thanks. Just like had her. Yeah,
Says,
they weren't too bad. You could say that. Thank you. Yes.
And I think I might have some pickled goose eggs behind the bar too, if you want that. That's I've spread those on toast before. It's quite lovely.
I became a vegan last night. Thank you, though.
I became a vegan now.
Yeah, exactly.
He brings over the jar of pickled goose eggs anyway, and leaves them on the table.
Okay, we'll take the tab. So, post office. Ellie, any objections? Simon, I think that's a great idea. We can go down this path for whatever sick reason you want. More YouTube content, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Content is king.
Oh, if you're going over to Lucy, like he's pulled up a chair and is sitting down with you guys at this point. He's like, if you're going over to Lucy's, you take a parcel over for me too. She is the post office too, don't you know? And
yeah, got that. Sure.
And he hands you some obnoxiously large, very inconvenient package, and he's like, "That's my returns for the tax season of last year. It'd be fine if you could just pop that off to the shop, and I'd really, really, really appreciate that, love."
It's the least we could do. We'll take the tab, thanks.
And he says, "You keep saying that. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Do you want the bill? This is a cash-only establishment, ma'am."
Sure, the bill would be just fine.
That'll be 37 quid, please.
Simon, please take care of it.
Manda had the petty cash.
Simon, just take care of it.
Manda had the petty. Do you take Venmo?
He looks at you and he's like, "That sounds like some kind of sexually transmitted infection. No, we don't take Venmo."
Manda had the petty cash.
Shirley checks her cash rating. Sure, I've got it.
And he looks you up and
yeah,
down.
I've got it.
Yeah, he says, "All right, I can make that an even 34.50 quid for you, love."
Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
And that's just for the toast. Room and board for last night. That'll be another 175 quid, please.
Great. We'll need an invoice. Thanks.
I'll have to pop over to Lucy's with you. She's got the only printer in town, so I could print you an invoice.
Oh my God, Patrick. Of course she does. That would be so lovely. You know what? I'll even carry your pack. I will carry your parcel for you.
That's service with a smile right there, love. I'll tell you what.
Sure.
I'll make that 170 quid just for you for doing that. I love a young buxom lass who can carry her own weight. I can't tell if Matt's ready to quit this podcast.
No,
if he's genuinely having a great time with young George and old George.
No, I'm done with young George.
I roll operate heavy machinery.
Okay, good. What were you trying to operate?
I don't know. The printer.
So
Okay.
you guys, I might make you guys roll sanity check for hanging out with young George.
No shit. Shall we head to Lucy's tea room, parcel service, and whatever else Lucy happens to do? Oh, apparently pastry shop as well.
Mm-hmm. And above the table, I thought I remembered somebody saying former library.
Oh, yep.
Yes,
And
in the
that.
former library.
That's what you do in
And
Cthulhu.
And it's at this point that old George walks down the,
No.
the stairs.
Bye, Todd George. Thanks for the service.
Oh, are you good to the post
Yeah,
office?
gotta run.
I've got a parcel you could take for me. As the door slams shut. All right, so you guys make it to Lucy's.
Really explore the space. Let's see where this goes. Old George would like to come. No, I'm kidding.
Lucy opens the door. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you, young George. Oh, it's so good to see you. Yeah.
I roll library use. Let's go. Good God.
Role playing.
No, I'm kidding. Okay.
So I go in and I'm like, here we are. We're in the town's post office. But legend has it that it was once an old library.
Still has a sign that like
Yeah, I was about to
you're
say,
standing
you
in front of a
pan
sign that
those.
like says library, like Muscogee Library.
Muscogee. It's got like Muscogee Library and then an additional hung sign underneath it, post office, and then underneath that in another font like and tea shop. And you walk in and all business. Like shit, you hear somebody in the back, like it's all very pink and very frilly, and like there's 4 pastries that have been there for entirely too long in the cabinet. And you know there's a printer, like it's a DOS printer, like we're in the back, and old George or young George walks over. He's like, it's Lucy. Hello, Lucy. How are you? Oh, young Georgie. And she like pinches his chin. And you've brought friends, I see. And she comes, she bustles out. She's like, oh, sit down. Make yourselves at home. What can I do for you? Hello.
Hello, love. Just real quick, Simon, are you sure this is where you want to be?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Lucy.
Hello, love. I'll tell you what. We would love some cuppas and maybe just a little bit of privacy.
There's one table, and it's in the middle, and it's in the middle of the room. And she like looks around. She's like, "Oh,
How about you?
love it.
How about you pop into the back just for a little bit?
Well, I never." She walks back and like throws the door open and slams it shut behind her.
We
And
hear her giving it young George an earful.
yeah, she's like, I have never met such rude townies. They are so rude. These people come from the south and they come up here and they just like you hear pots and pans and ladles slamming. It's just, I'm gonna make them the fucking best cup of tea they've ever had. They're pansy ass Southerners. And then you hear the printer going and it's like and it's like, is that private enough for you, you bitch? Like clapping and clanging. And what are you guys discussing during all of this?
Yeah.
She's busily
Simon.
writing the 1-star Yelp review.
What is it that you would like to accomplish here?
I want to, well, I don't know if she'll talk to us anymore, but I was going to ask her about old Gertine and all the Gertines of the past.
I tell you what. Let me talk to her. I'll apologize. I'm the one who's being crabby. Let me try to smooth things over, and then you can explore this while we wait for Paul. And she checks her phone, doesn't see any cell service. She's like,
No, you've got just enough service to see the little like 3 dots pop up from Paul like several times over the course of the morning. Like he's typing something and then stops, and then typing something and then stops. But yeah, so are you going into the kitchen? And Simon, what are you doing while she's walking back to the kitchen?
I look around and see if there's anything. If this truly above the table. If you didn't mean it for it to actually be the old library, that's fine.
No, it definitely is the old library.
Okay.
Like it's the post office library. Whatever you need it to be, kind of in this town. She's basically the only thing that's open besides the tavern.
Okay.
So
the one thing I took away from my time in university is, I had to. There comes a time when you got to hit the books. So I just started thumbing through the shelves and seeing if I can see anything that might be of interest.
So I will say the only books that are on this side are like those really cheap tchotchke books, like Beautiful Muscovy and like photo books of old time Muscovy.
Okay.
And it's obviously pictures that have just been grayscaled from like 10 years ago. And it's like, oh, look, a red telephone booth. And it's, so artsy. And you see that all of the books in the front of house are all like by Lucy. And it's like, okay.
Then I sort of poke around and see if there's like a back room or anything else where other books might be.
Yeah, so there's through the kitchen, you can see probably as Shirley's getting ready to walk back through there, opens the door. There's a staircase that leads kind of up. The one staircase is in the kitchen and goes up. That seems very English. So, and goes upstairs. So you can see some kind of books piled over by the stairs, and like more books, very old, dusty, gross looking books. Like they're inconvenient to Lucy is what they look like.
Okay. I sort of, oh, sorry, Matt, were you about to say something?
No.
Okay.
Let's dive into it.
Yeah. I sort of pick through them a little bit, sort of checking over my shoulder to make sure like I'm not about to get walked in on, but yeah.
But it is the library, right? Like,
is it?
Yeah,
I'm not sneaking around in a forbidden part of the house.
No, the way I look at it is it's the, like, nobody goes and visits it, so it does feel kind of against the rules.
Right.
But that's because, as far as you can tell, 4 people live here. So
right.
And none of them have like cracked a book in the last decade. So
in that case,
no.
I just go back and start thumbing through the titles and seeing if anything jumps out at me.
Yeah, so you find the Book of Neil Arthotep, the Call of Cthulhu.
Pass. What else?
The King in Yellow.
The King in Yellow. Yeah. The Rats in the Walls, and then so you find like Ye Old Lineage of Muscovy.
Perfect.
Yeah, by Lucy. And it's a bunch of old, like, basically it's school photos and like, oh, the class of 1982, and everybody's got like perms and sunglasses, and and then you go back to like the class of 1972 and everybody's in bell bottoms, and like and then the class of millennials and everybody's on their phone. No, I'm just kidding. So you go through and like you find pictures, this recurring theme throughout of the guy that you saw in the video, old Gertine. You see his picture, progressively older or younger, excuse me, as you go farther back in the book. Which I guess it would be the other way around. But anyway, and like you can see him with his parents, and you start to write. You see, because you guys looked at a couple of the pictures in the house, in the cottage. You can like, oh, okay, well now I see that those were his parents, and oh, those were his grandparents.
Okay.
And there's always like one gruff old man in each picture who's obviously the patriarch at the time, and he is dressed like a rat catcher. He's got a dog with a little yippy terrier dog usually, and he's got he's holding up a rat by the tail, and he's like grinning some snaggletooth grin.
Okay.
And yeah,
all right.
so you that checks out. There's always a rat catcher. So what else are you attempting to gather information on?
Is there any information about the history of the town?
Okay. Let's use some skills. I mean, I assume that there is a... Let me talk to myself for a second. Yeah, go ahead and do a library use. Why don't you?
Okay. There you go.
Nice.
Yes. So... it goes through the history of Muscovy, right? So Muscovy was founded as around the church that's in the the field.
Okay.
That's like the original building in town. And then it's a little odd that the rest of the town got built separated from the church. But it seems that of the original inhabitants, there was the preacher at the church, the priest, and his,
Vicar.
flock. Yeah, the vicar. And then there was a rat catcher and his family. Those are like the original two founders in the town. And the town was built up as it was very prosperous for a very long time, very agricultural town. That explains why all these fields are around. And then the Black Plague came, and all of the surrounding towns were very heavily affected by the Black Plague. But Muscogee seemed to be spared because they have always had a very strong rat-catching strain through the town, right? They've always made a point to keep the vermin out of town. So while they went through many, many rat catchers during the Black Plague years, the population of Muscogee remained one of the few bright spots in the surrounding community, right? So that is what you gather. And then, of course, as the highway got built, fast forward a couple hundred years, as the highway got built, industry started to leave town, agriculture got shipped overseas, and the rat-catching tradition wasn't needed as much, and, the population basically left. So, and it's basically kind of, it started as the priest, the vicar, and the rat-catching family. It basically boiled down to the vicar and the rat-catching family, and then a couple of stragglers-ons, the George family being one of those, and Lucy's family being one of those.
Okay.
So,
is there any indication that the current rat catcher has kids or any?
He does not have kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll say, so you go through that Lucy's book, and then you find maybe some more as you dig around in the cobweb encrusted corners of the building. You find like the county records, or like the vicar's record of births, right? And you find old George, you find old Gertine, and you find his entry, and since then there have been basically no births in town. So no kids, and everybody's leaving town.
Okay. All right. And I just sort of note where that original church was.
So
in
it's
town.
it's the big church that's just outside of town.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
the boarded up church.
So it's somewhere like way up to the north or so.
Yeah, halfway. It's the one that splits the difference between the town of Muscogee and the Ratcatcher Cottage.
Okay, cool. All right, so with that, I, sort of make my way back to see if Auntie is finished apologizing to Lucy.
Sure.
And if that's the last I ever hear of you, that'll be just fine. Oh, hello there, young man. What can I do for you?
And I'm just like, oh, Lucy, where are you from, Muscogee?
Oh, born and raised, young man. Born and raised.
And then I'm thinking, like, looking at all the family tree, like, are you your own aunt? How does this work?
I'm my own grandpa.
Yeah. And so I just ask, like, I know old Gurney's been hurt for a little while. Have you seen anything weird going on in town since he's been hurt?
Have I seen anything since old Gertine was hurt?
Do you consent to being filmed? No.
I don't even think he would ask, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. Love, I can't say that I have. But we stick to the town over here. I just, you've been over there. You've smelt the smell. Like, nobody in town will go near the place. It just stinks to high heavens.
When did you notice the smell, Lucy?
Oh, it's always been there, as long as we've been here. From the moment I remember smelling, that's the moment I remember smelling that cottage.
Really?
Oh, aye. Bitch.
I apologized.
Well, you can take that and shove it in your cuppa.
All right. And I just like, ladies, and I hold him back. No, not really.
Ladies, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let me get some mud in here first, ladies. You know.
So, I guess with that, like, like we make sure she's got the parcel. And
Good. Glad you remembered.
Oh, this is so heavy. You're sending another batch of magazines back to the sender. Oh, don't you know? She's like, I don't even want to know why these magazines come and go as much as they do, young George. He's like, well, the internet connection is quite slow out here, isn't it? Oh, those hunting magazines are just so hard to come by out here. Right.
And right. And so now that we've done that, I'm like, so Annie, what do you want to do? Is Unky coming?
Is Lori Paul coming?
Right.
Yeah, so she'll send a text out, and she's probably texted several times over the whole last hour or whatever. Where are you? Where are you?
He sends a gif of the sloth from Zootopia. He says,
Not fucking funny, Paul. Where are you?
he sends a 6 traffic cone emojis.
Not here yet. If you want to keep... I mean, look, Simon, our job is done. We have cleaned the house. It's beyond our pay grade. If you want to keep venturing down this hellhole, I dare not call it a rabbit hole for the sake of rabbits. We can keep poking around, but I don't know what you're expecting to find here. It's a messed up town that has a serious rat problem.
And when Lucy says that they have a rat problem, she slams some silverware down. Like she was polishing silverware, and she slams it down, and she's like, "Excuse me, ma'am. We do not have a rat problem in Muscovy. Who told you that we had a rat problem in Muscovy?"
Oh, the thousands of rats I saw last night told me. Each and every one of them said, which translates to, you have a giant fucking rat problem, you old crone.
Well, I never. And she goes back to the back, slams the door again.
We are done in here, Simon.
Yes, Auntie. And we start to walk out.
And Ellie escapes the clutches of young George, who's just basically been drooling in the corner. Like, hey, what do you do? She's like, okay, creepy guy. She's got the boom in hand at this point, as well. So, you guys are outside. It is unseasonably cool, even for fall. There are many dark clouds on the horizon. Towards Birmingham, you would guess. It looks like there might have been an unseasonable snowstorm that direction. For October of this year,
Yeah, so I turned to Ellie and I'm like, Ellie, you want to go blow up on YouTube?
She looks at you and she says, well, I guess I've got nothing better to do right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Shirley, is it all right if I have the afternoon off?
Oh, no. I want to blow up on YouTube, too. Let's all do this together.
Yeah, Auntie, there you go.
That's the spirit. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Let's go to that old church.
Lovely.
Wonderful. And as you guys start heading that direction, I think that is probably where we'll fade to black tonight as you guys head to the church of Muscovy.
Interesting.
Very nice. Very nice.
There you guys go.
Old church.
Very nice. See, you guys weren't going to die yet.
No, my fear is that we were going to kill the adventure 20 minutes in.
Well, we could have just started Star Trek.
Oh, shit.
Wipe the whole thing.
Party wipe. Yep, meteor hits the Muscovy and we're done. Moving on.
Unseasonal meteor hits Muscovy.
Oh, good.
Oh, man. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, does one of us want to take us out, or is there... Oh, you know what? So thanks again. This was Call of Cthulhu Modern. The adventure was Scritch Scratch. We are Black Lodge Trivia Night. You can find us here on YouTube. The channel is called Black Lodge Trivia Night. You can follow us on Twitter at Black Lodge RPG. And if you wanted to get audio versions of our actual plays or our podcast, Damn Fine Coffee, or the sort of recent Bookhouse Boys, just wherever you find podcasts, search for Black Lodge Trivia Night. And I think that basically covered it. Like, subscribe, if tell people about this if you thought this was all right. And we really appreciate it. So thanks again, and we'll be back with some more Scritch Scratch and Menace Under Otari very soon.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Take it easy.
Night.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.